The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. Today, 99% of people are convinced that they are unable to achieve great achievements in their lives due to their lack of confidence in what they can do. Therefore, they set their goals according to what they think they are capable of achieving. To face this negative conviction, Tim Ferriss takes us through a number of steps. The first step is to rethink your goals. For example, the people that are called the new rich do not see retirement as their ultimate goal, but instead they see that the present is the best years of their lives, or their golden years. They live on what Ferriss describes as mini retirement, which means long breaks between work periods, and they try hard to include this type of mini retirement to their working lifestyle. By defining your goals, this will give you a clear perspective on how and what you should aim for in order to live the life you want. By defining your goals, you can learn what you need to prepare in order to finance your new lifestyle. Many of us don't know that the goals that we may see as unreasonable goals are actually easier to achieve than reasonable goals, due to the presence of a factor that provides the hormone of happiness in our brains, which helps to overcome adversity and raise our level of challenge, unlike expected and limited goals that do not inspire us or raise our ambition. These expected goals can make a person disinterested in solving the problems that he faces. Therefore, the writer Tim Ferriss advises people who want to overcome their fears to ask themselves several questions, which in turn will help them achieve their goals and raise their level of productivity. Among these questions, what is your worst fear? What is the worst thing that could happen if this fear became a reality? What would you do if you were fired from your job today? After answering these questions, discover your dreams instead of focusing on possible fears and failures. Don't waste your time dreaming, as the writer Tim Ferriss mentioned, but divide your dreams to timelines and significant actions with a return. To remember, set your reasonable and unreasonable goals, avoid your fears and focus on your dreams. Most people measure their productivity by measuring the time they take to do a task, but this is not an effective indicator because we may be wasting a lot of time at work. On the other hand, Tim Ferriss advised us to focus on the Pareto Principle, the 80-20 principle, which means to focus your efforts on the 20% of the work that brings 80% of the results, and avoid the 20% of the work that consumes 80% of the effort and time. The 80-20 principle, developed by the economist Pareto, is a law that anyone can apply to any example in life. 80% of the results come from 20% of work and time, 80% of the company's profits come from 20% of the goods and commodities, 80% of the stock's profits are from 20% of the investors. The list of examples of the application of this principle is endless. The writer Tim mentioned that before he discovered the Pareto Principle, he worked for 15 hours a day and he felt stuck in a train without brakes. Once he discovered the principle, he asked himself two questions. What are the 20% of the resources that cause him 80% of problems and misery, and what are the 20% of the resources that represent 80% of the results that achieve satisfaction and happiness? The aim of these questions is to find weaknesses, get rid of them, and focus on maximizing your strengths. Accordingly, Tim made dramatic decisions, such as, he stopped chasing 95% of the company's customers, and fired 2% of the employees, and focused on 3% of suppliers. And he found that he was wrapped up in the work only for the work itself, and that was the main cause of his misery. So instead of focusing on doing everything you can do in the best possible way, focus on doing the little things that will bring you the biggest progress and development in your life. Parkinson's law is also another law that states that work depends on the time you dedicate to it. So a person must search for the default and get rid of it, in addition to searching for strengths in order to redouble your output. For example, the writer Tim mentioned one of his experiences during his university studies. When he was asked to do a 30-page research on a company, Tim chose a company, and when he finished interviewing the company officials and was ready to deliver the final copy of the research, he was surprised by a call from the company he interviewed telling him that it would not allow him to use the information that was given to him during the interviews. Then, despite the lack of time, Tim searched for another company to prepare the research from the beginning within only 24 hours. And despite this pressure, Tim was able to deliver the research in time and he got a high score in that subject. From here, it becomes clear to us that if a person focuses on the main tasks and points of a project, he will accomplish it in less time and with high quality. Bit to remember, be efficient and don't focus only on reducing the time needed to do the work, but focus on the main tasks and points of the work as a whole. Tim Ferriss tells us how to make money automatically, or the so-called autopilot mode. To make money without effort, you should review the tasks you do, and then decide what you can delegate and what you can use external sources to do it. Today, it is not difficult to hire reliable assistants to do daily routine tasks for you. Delegating day-to-day responsibilities and operations to assistants will save you so much time, and then you can reduce your working hours to an ideal 4 hours per week. Tim Ferriss wonders why hiring assistants are only for wealthy financiers and entrepreneurs. Tim says, "I'm not a big company owner, I'm just a writer working from home, but that doesn't prevent me from hiring assistants and giving them some of my daily life tasks." Tim mentions that he started hiring assistants when he hired Hani. Hani was a girl who worked as a remote virtual assistant. Tim knew her through an employment website, after noticing the amount of commendation Hani had received from a number of well-known companies that she had previously worked with as a remote virtual assistant. Tim says, "What attracted me to Hani was her positive response and her willingness to work on adaptation in order to meet the requirements of the work and reach the results that would satisfy me. And after my successful experience with Hani, the thing evolved and I had a support team that takes care of my professional life and follow up on my work and daily tasks. My team also supports me in my personal matters such as paying bills, booking tickets and sometimes, solving my family problems with my wife." The use of virtual assistants contributed to reducing the pressures and tensions that the writer was exposed to. Since every time Tim gets nervous, he reminds himself that Hani is taking care of his work and that she will do her job well. Bit to remember, hiring virtual assistants to do your routine work helps you save effort and earn money, and also contributes to reducing stress and work pressures. One of the most important principles that Tim Ferriss introduces in this book is the DEAL principle, which consists of 4 parts. Define your own goal in life. Eliminate anything that wastes your time. Automate, put your cash flow on autopilot. And liberate, be free from the binds that keep you tied to a single location. The last step of this principle requires you to create flexibility and freedom in your life, which means that you should avoid attaching yourself to one place. Instead, you must struggle to be free to be able to move across the world as many times as you want. An example of this is the story of an American businessman who went to a small village in Mexico and met a Mexican fisherman and discussed his business with him. The fisherman said that he caught 1 fish, and that did not take so long. The American asked him why he did not stay at sea longer to catch more fish. The fisherman replied that he had enough for his family, so the American asked him about what he does during his day. The fisherman replied that he usually sleeps until late in the afternoon, and then gets up to fish a little, then spends some time with his children, and after that he takes a nap and then walks with his wife in the town in the evening. And at the end of the day he meets his friends. The American, who was a graduate of Harvard University, advised him to spend more time fishing and then work on buying a larger boat and then building a fleet of shipping boats. The fisherman asked him, "What do I do next?" The American said, "Then you can move to the big cities in Mexico and then Los Angeles and New York, until you can establish a fish cannery." The fisherman asked, "How long will it take me to establish a fish cannery?" The American replied, "Not less than 15 years. The fisherman asked him, "What should I do after that?" The American replied, "Then you will start selling your company's shares in the financial market with millions of dollars. Then you will retire and move to a small beach town and take a break, Sleep late and fish a little, then spend some time with your children and then take a nap with your wife and walk in the town in the evening, and at the end of the day you can meet your friends. The writer concludes that most people are stuck in certain places such as offices, and therefore they do not enjoy the freedom of movement. They find their source of income limited to and dependent on a particular place. That is why the writer mentioned the need not to limit yourself to any place, and to make your flexibility and freedom one of your main goals. But to remember, work not to limit yourself to a specific place or a specific source of income. Flexibility and ease of movement are among the basics of success in life.
Thanks for watching. Please follow our social media accounts. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel.